Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. Well, we've got an interesting show tonight, in as we're going to be talking about an old sport that has a new beginning. And so I'm not going to say anything other than that, but it's something we'll be talking about in just a few minutes. Of course, we're nearing the end of the basketball season. It's winding down, the regular season is, and all of a sudden, you know what that means. Here comes the playoffs. Well, once again, Birmingham and the Jefferson County area, in their classifications around here, like the 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, we got quite a few teams that has had outstanding seasons thus far. And just maybe one or two or three may come home with a state title. We don't know. Birmingham is always very well represented no matter what the sports that we have, because we have some fantastic athletes and coaches up here in the north central part of the state. And I guarantee you, I got a feeling one of the favorites to maybe bring home another title may be Winona. They've had a great season thus far. Their basketball program only have one loss with a chance to repeat as state champions. And so we got quite a few teams that's had outstanding seasons, ranked in the top 10 in those classifications all season long. But like we talk about with all the coaches each and every show that we visit with them, all they're hoping for is that their teams are peaking at the right time. And if they are, then all it takes is getting to the dance floor, because everybody's got a chance. And once again, we're hoping that some of the Birmingham area teams will bring home a state title. If they do, maybe we'll have some of those coaches and athletes visiting up here with us. That reminds me, we've got a state championship coach to talk with next. This sport, very interesting. We'll talk about that as well. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Oh, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Good driver discount, multi-car discount, good student discount. Helping you save money on car insurance is just part of the service you get from State Farm agent Jack Traffinstead. Whether an accident or a simple question, Jack and his staff get you the help you need. And that's the value only a State Farm agent can provide. Call Jack Traffinstead today. 40 million drivers already know nobody gives more discounts to more drivers than State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their number one objective. And folks, welcome back. And our first guest tonight, we were talking earlier in the opening about the fact that we've got an old sport that had a new beginning in the last year or two. And we're going to explain exactly what that means. Sitting beside me, we've got a championship coach, and the sport is bowling. Coach Stephen Hobbs. Coach, good to see you.
Good to be here.
And once again, you and I have talked about this, but congratulations on that 7A bowling title.
Thank you.
And what we're going to talk about, folks, is, believe it or not, because Snapper's been around a long time, I cannot remember when bowling was a sanctioned high school sport, because it's been a long time. But having said that, going into last year, and Coach, I want you to help me expand on this a little bit, That's when the new bowling seasons started.
That's correct.
And but last season it was sort of like you were feeling your way through. And
It was considered an emerging sport for AHSAA last year, and so they didn't have an official state tournament.
Right.
They really didn't have any rules. They kind of just threw it open to the coaches and said, y'all kind of figure it out, and then we'll kind of meet at the end of the season and kind of see what worked best and didn't work. And from that, then they developed a set of guidelines, and that became an official sport this year and had our first state tournament.
Well, I know, and this sort of ages me a little bit, I guess, but 30 or 40 years ago, bowling here in Birmingham was a fairly popular sport. And even though it wasn't a high school.
That's right, and it's still actually a very popular sport.
Right.
And when I'm at the bowling alley now, we always have to hurry up and get out because the leagues are coming in, and it's
Right.
always usually a full house just about every night.
And of course, we talked about that the Spain Park Jaguars won the 7A first year sanction championship, and they were in a region, I guess you'd call it region.
The state was divided into 8 regions this year.
And now this is the interesting part. I'm going to name off these teams, and coach, if I miss one or get them wrong. But in their region, they had Fayetteville, Pelham, Thompson, Parker, Stanhope, Elmore, Holy Spirit, Indian Springs, Oak Mountain, Hoover, and Holtville. Now you recognize some of those schools,
Right.
And Coach explained to us just a little bit, because you said something when we were talking about it just a moment ago, that the classifications doesn't necessarily mean as much.
Right, it's really a Class 1A to 7A championship because it's every school in the state that had bowling participated. We didn't break it up like basketball or football where we had just 7A champion or a 6A champion. Because it is an emerging sport, there's not as many schools that had an actual bowling team. But from last year to this year, the number of teams doubled that said they wanted to participate and actually did participate.
Now, here's the first question that I would ask you. From looking, this is not a just around the Birmingham area type opposition that you had.
No, we
Talk about the scheduling and the travel part.
The travel, well, we were really fortunate in that because we're here in the Birmingham area and many of these teams, we were able to play
Right.
locally. And those teams that were from the Montgomery, Prattville area were kind enough that they came to us, and so we didn't have to travel a great deal. Now, next year, I have a feeling we'll have to go down there and visit them. And it makes it a little bit more complicated with all the travel because obviously bowling doesn't have a real big budget. But it's just been fun just to kind of see. We kind of got a little bit of tunnel vision thinking, ooh, in Birmingham area, we're doing pretty well. But then Stanhope Elmore had an outstanding team, and so did some of the other surrounding. Etowah was really strong up in the Gadsden area. And so we got to see a couple of those in a tournament. But,
Well, the next question that I would ask you is almost like the obvious question. How in the world did you get in the position? And talk about that to become the head bowling coach there at Spain Park.
Well, it was really more of the athletic director just kind of put the call out, hey, we've got bowling's coming on. Is anybody interested in being the bowling coach? And I went and I said, hey, I like to bowl. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I just, I threw my hat in the ring, and they said, sure, let's do it. And I've learned a lot last year, and I've learned a whole lot even more this year. And little by little, we're getting there. You're old enough to remember Dale Brown, right, from LSU?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm from Baton Rouge, and so I'm kind of
my
the Dale
goodness.
Brown type bowling coach. I don't know a lot about the X's and the O's, but I can get the guys out there and get them motivated to play.
Well, let me ask you this very quickly. It has nothing to do with bowling. Then being from LSU in that area, Pistol Pete Maravich.
Right.
I always had this saying, nothing could be sweeter than watching Pistol Peter.
Yeah,
He was the best basketball player I've ever seen.
Right, he was great. He was a little bit before my time, before I got to Baton Rouge, but all the folklore about him it was always fun to hear about.
Well, now here we're getting down to home cooking now. Tell me a little bit, first of all, this is your second year there. How's the participation? How was it last year, and did it increase this year?
We've had great participation. I actually had to do cuts, and we had tryouts for 3 days, and we just let them bowl and just kind of look at their averages, and I kind of looked at who I thought had potential to develop. And the kids have been awesome, and they've just worked hard. We practice about 3 times a week because we're really dependent upon the bowling centers and when the lanes
Right.
are available, and that complicates things as well. But the participation around the state, like I said, has just grown tremendously, and we're expecting it to continue to grow.
Well, now, how many actual members on the team?
I had 11 guys on the team, but only 8 were able to actually participate in the state, regional, and state tournament as the
Okay.
quote the varsity team.
Well, tell me just a little bit about the number of people that would come out to see the team.
Oh, it was
bowl.
amazing. It was fun because you wouldn't think of bowling as being exciting. I actually tried to, I talked my wife into coming out and watching in the state tournament. She goes, man, it wasn't anything like I thought, because everybody was cheering loud. It was basketball type atmosphere, and there was a lot of excitement, especially when we do what's called the Baker games, where your first bowler bowls the first frame, and then the second bowler bowls the second frame, and then third, and so everyone's getting up there, and that's really what helped us propel us to the state championship, was the fact that we bowled those Baker games so well, because in the semifinals and finals we were behind after the traditional game.
And we want to remind folks very quickly too that ladies are involved. There's the ladies
well,
side.
there's a girls team, and then the team we played in the championship, Stanhope Elmore, they didn't have a girls team, so the girls were playing on the guys team.
Really?
That's
well,
right.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, first of all, that's a fast 8 minutes when you get to talking, but let me tell you this, because I tell the kids this all the time, you're state champions now.
That's exactly
It may not be that easy next year.
That's right.
Because
but we
people-
will always be the first.
That's right,
state champion.
and it's sort of nice to have people maybe chasing you, right?
That's
Wanting
exactly
to be
right.
number one. Well, Coach, first of all, awfully good to meet you. Secondly, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that state championship. And thirdly, now what we got to do is look at maybe repeating, right?
That's exactly right. And fortunately, we've got a young team, and so we have a good chance.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, folks. When we come back, 4 young members that were very instrumental in the state championship run by Spain Park. We'll be right back.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Now, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their number one objective.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I got 4 strapping athletes up here, and you'd think football maybe. No, we're talking about bowling, folks, and we're talking about state champion bowlers. Sitting closest to me, Jalen Johnson. Jalen, 10th grader, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then sitting next to him, James Waller, a senior.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Jonathan Gotham, a senior. Yes, sir. Gotham, right? And I remembered that after I'd said it. And then Andrew Harris, a junior, correct? Yes, okay, guys, the first question I'll ask you, Jalen, to start with, do you participate in any other sports?
Football. Yes,
Football?
Sir.
All right, now let me ask you this. Does football help you in any way, or is bowling just something you enjoy?
Something I enjoy, really.
Really? Have you been bowling a while?
Yes.
All right, now let's see, you are a 10th grader, so how many years have you been playing football? Since youth football?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. James, being a senior, do you participate in any other sports there?
Track and cross country.
Really? Now, Was bowling something you did just because you enjoyed it, or is it something that you found out early you were pretty good at, and when the bowling team came about, you were all about it?
Yeah, honestly, I just did the bowling team last year just so I get out of school early. It turns out it was actually pretty fun, so I did it again this year.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, whatever reason works for you, okay? Now, John, you're a senior.
Yes, sir.
Now, I learned from the coach. Now, if I make any mistakes here, guys, first of all, y'all just correct me, all right? Because I'm not embarrassed by being corrected. Because I'm not here to embarrass y'all. But coach tells me you're the leadoff man.
Yeah.
All right, now what I'm going to take from that, does that mean first bowler up?
Yes.
Now, how long have you been bowling?
2 years.
2 years? Did you participate in any other sports? You didn't. So what was it about bowling that when the team concept came along, you said, I'm in?
Well, I really liked bowling like the years before that, and when I got news that there was a possible team in the development, I decided to try out, and I made the team, and then I got my own ball, and I've liked it ever since.
Oh boy, I'm telling you, the leadoff man really led right into a state championship. That's pretty impressive. And Andrew, 11th grader. Now you're the first sub. Tell me what the first sub is.
Well, there's 3 guys who are subs, and they're sort of rotated in as if the coach feels like they need to come in. So.
Well, now, you being a junior, do you participate in any other sports?
No, sir. Bowling's my only sport.
Really? Was it a hobby thing? Have you been bowling a good part of your life?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed bowling. I tried out when I heard there was tryouts.
Okay. When the guys, what I wonder too, have all of y'all been on both years bowling, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Jalen, we know there are rivalries we have in football, or baseball or basketball. Possibly a rivalry in bowling? Who do you look forward to seeing?
Stanhope Elmore.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Huh. Now why? Because they're that good, or a good team, or?
That's mostly good, yes, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I would think somebody like Spain Park, Cousin Hoover. That's not it, right? Okay, well, cool. James, how about you?
Definitely Stanhope Elmore. Had a little bit of in-team tension first game.
Oh, really?
So that just kind of carried on.
That happens in bowling?
Yeah, it does. Yes, sir.
Somebody say something or look the wrong way, and next thing you know, we got an attitude that we're taking these people down.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll be darned. Well, that's good. So, did y'all bowl against? I don't know how to call it. I'm gonna say compete against Stanhope Elmore last year.
No.
No. Okay. So this is a new rivalry that's just blossomed this year.
Yes, sir.
So y'all played them, bowled against them during the season and in the state championship.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, John. How about you?
Yeah, Stanhope Elmore is also a very big rival, and I would also say Hoover to some extent is a rival because the whole football. Rival.
Yeah. Well, you want to show that. Maybe you beat our football team now and then, it's not going to beat us.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder how I know how to talk like that. I know what the rivalry is like, being Vestavia and Hoover. Y'all bowled against Vestavia too, didn't you? Okay. Are they pretty good bowlers?
They are good bowlers.
I appreciate you. You'd make a good politician. That's good. But all right, Andrew, you picked up a rival or somebody you enjoyed bowling against?
It was without a doubt Stanhope Elmore.
What in the world did them boys do? We won't go into that. It's just nice. That rivalry makes you compete harder and want to. Now, see, I'm going to show you how much I know about bowling. Make a strike every time. That's right.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, and this is the first time that I have met y'all. And so athletes are very superstitious. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about in a minute. Or you may have a hobby or an interest that you like that I wouldn't know about. Example, something very simple like y'all may be great singers in the shower, but when that water's cut off, you sound like a 0. You may be a 10 when that shower's going. But do you have any hobbies or anything that I would be interested in? We'll start with you, Jalen. You like hunting or fishing?
Never been doing any one of those.
Really?
I mean, I was supposed to go this year, but it hasn't happened yet.
You like golf?
Yes.
You do? Okay, that would surprise me. You can hit it a long way, right?
Yes, sir.
You hit it 50 yards or 100 yards this way, but 50 that way, right? Or can you hit it pretty straight?
I am pretty straight.
Well, you're better than most of us. I can hit mine so far in the woods sometimes a Geiger counter won't find it. But golf is so that's the only thing that maybe you do, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's cool. James, how about you?
Do a bunch of outdoor stuff. We usually go kayaking, mountain biking. Every now and then we go explore like abandoned buildings, you know, just historic landmarks.
We do what?
Go. Me and some friends go and look at like abandoned buildings in the
really?
downtown area.
Yeah.
And I play ultimate frisbee every now and then in
Yeah,
tournaments.
but an outdoors guy, you know.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's cool. How about you, John?
I love to fish.
You do?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
Just being out there with nature. I was my sophomore year, I was on the Spain Park bass fishing team.
Really?
Yeah.
You got me. That's another one. I haven't had a bass fishing team on yet. Oh, I'll be darned.
Yeah, that was real fun.
Well, now, I've always heard that fishing is a very relaxing sport. It's just you and nature and the water.
Yeah.
Have you ever fell in?
Probably once or twice.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. How about you, Andrew?
Yes, sir. I also fish down in Gulf Shores a lot.
Really?
Yes, and I also enjoy the outdoors.
You say you fish down in Gulf Shores a lot. You stay away from the sharks, right?
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay. Well, that's a smart thing. All right. Guys, let's see. We got two seniors on here. So, James, I'll ask you. First of all, you going to college in any particular place when you graduate?
Haven't decided yet.
Oh, okay. That's all. Haven't decided is a popular college. And so
Right.
you ain't got a
Right.
long time, but you got time.
Yes, sir.
And the other senior, John, where are you going?
I plan to go to UAB.
Really? And study what?
Science.
Science? Okay. None of you guys has ever thought about maybe being teachers and bowling coach? Okay, well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there, Coach, you know, but we got to ask these questions because they're going to come from somewhere when you retire. All right, guys, so now here's the one thing you got to remember, though, about being champs. The seniors, you and you don't have to worry about this. You and you do. There's a bullseye on your back now. And, you know, it's in all sports. You win a championship, everybody wants to beat you the next year. I bet even Stan Hope Elmore. So that should be interesting. All right, guys, we only got about a minute left in this segment. Last question I always enjoy asking young athletes. To this point in your life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you, Jalen.
My parents.
Your parents. Good for you. How about you, James?
Definitely my mom.
Okay. John?
Yeah, my mom.
Your mom? Mom's always there, right? Andrew?
Definitely my parents.
Okay. Well, guys, I tell you what. Y'all have achieved something that nobody else will ever be able to do. First of all, I don't care if there's been state champs before, there was not a 7A state championship. So that's y'all's. The seniors, congratulations to you guys and off to college. Hope everything works out for you. My sophomore and my junior, come back, defend that state championship. I know the coach is going to be trying it. Good luck to y'all, okay? Congratulations, nice to meet you guys. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go back to a basketball coach and some of his players, but it's been an interesting, joyful few minutes spent here with the 7A state championship bowlers. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Ted Townley in Homewood today.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And welcome back, folks. As you can tell, I've got another coach sitting next to me. This would be Nick Bomball, and Nick is the basketball coach, boys basketball coach at Chelsea. Coach, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And glad to have you and some of your players up. I know this is the first time I think you've been on my program.
It is.
And what I like to do, Nick, is when I'm having you coach up here, tell us a little bit about your background and what has brought you to be the head basketball coach there at Chelsea.
Well, I'm from Indiana originally. And my wife, I met her in college up in Indiana, and she's from Sylacauga, Alabama. And so we moved down here about 10 years ago and found a spot at Chelsea. I taught at a couple of different schools before I got to Chelsea High School. And then when I got to Chelsea, I was the assistant for 6 years. Worked under Coach Michael Knapp, who is now at UMS Wright, and then applied for the head coaching job, and now I've been the head coach for the last 2 years.
Well, then you've been around the program a little while.
Yes.
And now Chelsea it's one of those schools that doesn't have a long lifetime.
No, the high school itself at that location is 20 years old, but Chelsea High School has been around since the 50s and 60s.
Yeah,
it's been around a long time. I think my wife's grandma actually went to Chelsea as well.
Well, I tell you, I guess the reason I didn't know much about it for a long time, the schools weren't branched out so much to where the local schools that we're used to seeing played Chelsea. And then, of course, the new school, I realize it's been shorter.
And we're a growing community. And we've gone from a 3A, 4A school to now the upper third of 6A.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it could easily, by the next time they reclassify, the growth is out there so big that you could easily end up being 7A.
There's potential for 7A. We're hoping to stay in 6A, but we could potentially in the next 2 years or 4 years, we're thinking we're going to be really close to 7A.
Well, then let's get to talking about your team this year in particular. Had a pretty good season thus far?
Yeah, well, we're doing okay. We're 10-17. Joseph Lanzi, who's with me tonight, he broke his arm in the second game of the season, and we struggled without him. He was a returning starter that averaged about 10 points a game as a junior or as a sophomore. He's just a junior this year. We've been playing really well though since Christmas. He came back. And guys are starting to click, and we've actually won 5 of our last 6 games.
And you and I had talked about that. You can get off to a bad start, then have injury problems, and that just makes it worse. But the most important thing, regardless of what kind of sport it is, but we're talking about basketball here, the motivation or the hope for you as a head coach is that your team peaks come playoff time.
I think we're playing our best basketball right now. We've beat some good teams in Montevallo, Gardendale, Briarwood, Pell City twice in that, which is in our area, and then we played Oak Mountain really well last Thursday night, lost by 7 points. We were there, had a chance, we were down 3 with about 2 minutes to go and had a defensive breakdown, but otherwise, I mean, we were right there, and we're playing good basketball right now.
Well, are you sort of being there as an assistant and head coach now? Have you seen the program grow in the direction that you want it to be?
Absolutely. Coach Knapp did a fantastic job of building. He basically, I feel like, I don't want to say he started from scratch, but he really has brought the program up, and I'm just trying to build on what he's done. He laid the foundation to really get it going, and I'm just tweaking some things that he's done and putting my own stamp on it as well, and growing it so that we're continually fighting for area championships and sub-regional and regional opportunities, which we had never done before.
Well, see, that was the next question. It's strange that you should say that, is I wonder, what is your philosophy when it comes to your basketball team? You want to play up-tempo, or do you want to slow the ball down? Do you play press, or what on defense? I guess the question I would really ask you is, do the players dictate in their abilities what you play, or do you try to mold them in a certain way that you prefer?
No, I think that my philosophy is to see what kind of players I've got and then run an offense that fits them. I've been fortunate enough that the offense that got installed when Coach Knapp was here fit this group that I've got now. Thinking about the next couple years, we'll probably run more than just one offense. Right now we run one offense that we're really good at. Looking at the future at our 9th and 10th graders, we got a lot more height than we have now, and we're going to have to change what we do just a little bit to meet those kind of players. So we're going to run our offenses run offense that meets what the kind of skill level our players have.
Well, the players you have now, you're talking about size is very important.
Yes.
So if you don't have that, you try to make it up with intensity and speed.
Well, you would think so. We're trying more of a ball control type offense. With not having the height, and defensively, I think especially right now, we're really good defensively. We're trying to hold teams under about 50 points. We think we can win games if we hold them under 50. We move the ball really well, and when we do, great shots happen for us.
Well, let me ask you this. What, in your years of coaching, what kind of changes have you seen in the athlete? And what I mean by that is it seems like more of our high school athletes nowadays want to make a highlight reel instead of learn the basics and hone and perfect that.
Yeah. We try to balance those two things. When you watch SportsCenter, you're seeing the big play, and that's something we talk about on a daily basis. Hey, make the easy play. I think it comes back to just using your basic skills. We're trying to get down to fundamentals. We try to spend 5 to 10 to 15 minutes every day of practice reinforcing those fundamental skills and trying to stay there with those. But, periodically you need that highlight play sometimes. It gets the crowd fired up, gets our players excited. It's something that we try to balance.
Well, I was going to say, don't get me wrong, there is a place for it.
Absolutely. And we balance that out. We've got one guy in particular likes to try to make the highlight play, and it's something that we try to balance that out as much as we can. And sometimes it works in our favor, and other times it doesn't.
What was your background? What got you interested in coaching basketball?
Yeah, I got an opportunity to play in college, and when I got my foot in the door there, it didn't work out for me to play all 4 years. I wasn't one of the guys that they were recruiting. I happened to luck out, and then in the next year the tryout came, and that coach told me, hey, look, we know you love basketball. It doesn't look like you're going to make the team. Are you interested in still being a part? You could be a manager, a statistician, almost like a student assistant coach. Right. And that led me into my first, I stayed there for 3 years and helped them. And then it led me into a freshman job. That connection I had, someone called the college coach and said, hey, we're looking for a freshman coach. Do you know anyone? And he thought of me. And that got me into it. I was already majoring in education, and here I am. And I've been looking forward to being a varsity coach for a long time, and I'm hoping to be a varsity coach a long time.
Well, I was going to say then basketball was your chosen sport.
Absolutely.
The one you participated in, and now you've gotten to a school where there's a chance for growth. We
Yes.
talked about that. So there's also a chance for your program to grow.
Yeah, we're hoping to build the program. Last year was the first time that Chelsea had won an area championship since 1986. It had been 29 years. We want to get to the point where we're winning area championships every year. We want to be one of the programs that's getting to the regional, and ideally we'd love to play in the Final Four one year. That's everybody's goal, and that's what my goal is for our program.
Absolutely, and the one thing about it sounds like it starts building with young men as they're sophomores, freshmen, especially juniors and so forth. By the time they get to be seniors, you're hoping that you're in a position to make a strong run every year.
And I'm trying to get my fingerprint on the younger programs so that they're starting to do the things that we're doing on a daily basis, so that we can build our programs so that when they get to me, they already know what's going on, and we can start winning more games.
Well, Coach, awfully nice to meet you. We're fixing to visit with 3 of your players, and all I can say is we're hoping they're picking at the right time,
Yeah,
right?
me too. Thank you, sir, very much. Appreciate it.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, 3 gentlemen very instrumental in the good basketball they're playing right now, just as playoff time is back. Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Now, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I've got three outstanding young athletes here. Basketball players for the Chelsea basketball team. Sitting closest to me, Aaron Washington, a senior, and you're a guard, right?
Yes, sir.
And then Joseph Landsey, a junior guard.
Yes, sir.
And then Matthew Marquette, a junior, and a forward.
Yes.
Okay, all right, guys, going into this year, and we'll start with you, Aaron. First of all, what were your goals for this year, not only for you as an individual, but for you and your teammates?
To win games and to be better than our team was last year.
So far, are you on the road to doing that?
We're not on the road to winning more games, but we are on the road to doing better than our team did last year.
And what you mean by that is what the coach and I talked about just a few moments ago. You've won 4 out of your last 5,
Yes,
something
sir.
like that. Playing a whole lot better, and this is the right time, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Joseph, junior guard.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about what you expected out of yourself and your team.
Well, I just expected to contribute mainly to help the team out throughout the year, and though I got hurt early on in the year, I learned a lot sitting on the bench with both of our coaches and just learning like how quick it can be taken away from you, and it was a good learning experience, but I was expecting to just carry on from what the team did last year and do bigger and better things.
Do you think you and your team are peaking at the right time, playing your best basketball?
We're definitely peaking at the right time right now, winning 5 out of our last 6 games and just finding each other right now and clicking at a really good time.
Good. And Matthew, forward.
Yes.
Now, are you a power forward or a shooting forward?
I'd say more of a shooting forward, even though I really can't shoot it that well. I mean, I'm like Coach B said, we don't really have that much height, so I play the 4.
Well, that's all right.
I'm the tallest we got.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, regardless of what position you play, the only thing the coach wants you to do is play the best you can possibly play. All right, guys, going into this year, every team, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, I'm talking about major sports and minor sports as well, you always have teams you enjoy playing maybe over another team. And with that thought in mind, Aaron, what's the team you look forward to tipping it off against every year?
Shelby County.
Shelby County, is that what you would call a major rival for your team?
Yes, because I have a travel team, which most of the players on Shelby County play on my travel team, so therefore it's a big game for me, and I try to win every time we play them.
Well, now, have y'all played them once or twice this year?
We played them twice this year.
How have you done?
We lost the first one and we won the second one.
Okay, so y'all split. Nobody's got bragging rights yet,
exactly.
Right? Okay, Joseph, how about you?
I'd say Briarwood. We mainly in football and basketball. It's the team over the mountain. We always look forward to that game.
Right. Do you have any buddies or people that you know, or is it just because it's a natural position rivalry?
Well, I wouldn't really say anyone has any buddies from Briarwood, from Chelsea, but I don't really talk to anyone from Briarwood.
Oh, okay. You stay in the neighborhood, right? Matthew, how about you?
Yeah, definitely Briarwood. Just like the atmosphere that you play in. When you play them, just both schools basically hate each other, so it's fun.
Well, that's being pretty blunt. I mean, now tell me how you really feel. But that's all right. Every once in a while, that can be a motivation in a positive way. I mean, whatever it takes to make you be the best that you can be, or want to line up against somebody and beat them, then that's always a good reason. But we don't necessarily hate them. We just maybe don't like them that much. But I understand what you're saying. Guys, first time that I've met y'all, and I know you play basketball, but athletes have superstitions or they have hobbies, something that I might not know about, that the general public might not know about. And if there was something in your background that you enjoy doing, and whether it be another sport or writing poetry or something like that, we'll start with you. Aaron, what would it be?
Well, I'm also a part of show choir for Chelsea's Out of the Blue group. So I guess you could say I enjoy doing that too. But other than choir and basketball, I'm normally sleeping.
Well, that's right. If you work hard singing and playing, sleep is a good thing, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, how about you, Joe?
Superstition-wise? Well, I guess every day during a game day, if I find like a penny or something on the ground, I always put it in my sock and leave it there until the game's over.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this question. You pick up the penny whether it's on heads or tails?
Always has to be on heads. And if it's on tails, then I flip it over and leave it for the next person.
That's good. That's good. I don't blame you. Yeah. All right. How about you, Matthew?
Superstition-wise, before every game, I always have to shower. I just like to be clean before I go out on the field.
Well, yeah, I'm sure your teammates are glad you are, but that's all right. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, guys. Question I enjoy asking too: collegiate or sport, pro? I don't care which one it is. Who's your favorite basketball player? Who would you like to play like?
Even though he can't shoot, and my main thing is shooting, I would like to play like Russell Westbrook because the way he is, he's so aggressive and so explosive, and he's always playing his hardest no matter how down or how high they are up. He's always playing no matter what it is.
And I tell you, his teammates better be awake because they don't know when he's going to go the hole or drop it off, right? Okay. How about you, Joseph?
Well, he doesn't play anymore, but I always liked Pete Maravich since I was younger, and I've always watched him. And I just like to always get my teammates involved, and no matter what way I can get them involved.
Well, talking about Pete, I've never seen a person that was a musician with a basketball that one looked like it was a part of the other.
Yeah, he could do some special things.
You're absolutely right. I saw him score 69 points against Alabama one night. I'm a big Alabama fan. They almost kicked me out of the gym because all I could do was holler, "Shoot, Pete, shoot!" And he did. Matthew, how about you?
I don't really follow the NBA, but I mean, if I had to pick one, probably Steph Curry, just because he's
Yeah.
the best player in the league, in my opinion.
I'm amazed at what an accurate shooter he is, but the one thing he got to be that way is practice, practice, and more practice. And sometimes athletes today don't want to pay the price of not only practice at practice, but practicing when nobody's looking. And a lot of times that really pays off. Well, guys, time's really got away with us. I always like to ask this question. To this point in your young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you, Aaron.
My father.
Father?
Because he's always there, and he works 12-hour shifts, and he always finds a way to be there to support me. So I would say he has to be my most one to look up to.
Okay. How about you, Joseph?
I would say my dad, and then one of my AAU coaches. My dad's always been there for me since I was a kid, and he's just taught me everything I know and always been there to guide me. And then my other AAU coach, he's really worked with me through everything for the past few years.
Good. How about you, Matthew?
I probably have to say my mom, because I think out of all the people, she really understands me the most, and she really gets me as a person. So I'd have to say my mom.
Yeah, I tell you, we can always count on those moms, right? Well, guys, nice to meet you. You've had what we'll call an average season thus far, but that's the bad news. The good news, you're playing as good as you played all year. It's tournament time. Go get them. I'll tell you this. We'll have you and the coach up here, and some of your teammates, y'all win the title, and we'll celebrate together, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Folks, same time, same place. So next week, you know what the snapper always says, bicycle.